unlike Split, where we were seeing those effective trades or just those outright W's. And, ooh, wait a minute. We are getting a change. Adora, previously running the Neon, right, Akamos?
That's old school. That's an old school change. Adora on the Jet instead of the Neon makes... Does that make sense?
It's also the
Omen.
maybe.
It's also the Omen instead of the Astra.
Yeah, wait, these
It's
are
like
some...
very back to basics changes.
I think the switch up there, honestly, to me, I'm thinking back to an VCL cast I did a few days ago where the Omen was utilized as this crazy defensive anchor positionally, right? You didn't know what angle they were going to be holding over towards that A site in particular, right? The backside box, orange, the up front side box. It was so effective, and Jada being that standalone anchor, I think it could really help. And I think it's a trade-off, right? When you don't have that aggressiveness from the Neon necessarily that can dive fully in or be as supported, I should say, as the Neon with a relay bolt self-sufficient, you need that paranoia to set up the Jet entry.
You need to set up something for that Jet entry. Jet is the duelist that needs a little bit more catering, a little bit more support, a little bit more help. And in that current meta, that's why she has fallen off for most of the teams. But it's still the straightforward Angel. It gives you this verticality from both of these comp changes, right? You have a very vertical change that they are doing here with the Omen and the Jet. And I'm so intrigued on how those changes are gonna look.
I mean, when was the last time we saw Breeze? It was a loss up against Twisted Minds in the knockout stage, 7-13. So they know that something isn't working when you're losing to one of the first teams eliminated out of playoffs. So I do think this is the right call. We said they were going to pick their poison. They had to be prepared for this map, no matter how you spun it. And this is that preparation. So here we go. Heavy stack from G2 over towards A, and they're going to challenge it directly.
Yeah, and gonna fight into Amy. Spots that it's effective use. Immediately onto the pull of the Astra. A lot of utility invested for G2, but they're all rotated over. A lot of stacking over to that side. Anita doesn't spot Vanya. She gets the entry. A trade out there from Jademar. Akita on the fight as well, but Anva is there for the taking, is there for the backing of her team. All of a sudden, G2's hold is falling apart. It might be that Giant X have learned from what Gentle Mates has been doing yesterday, beating G2 here as well. Movement from Ebba, doesn't spot Anva, but gets the kill there as well. Retaking from G2 might work, but it doesn't in the end because double from Adora stops the momentum that they were building.
The comfort picks come through. I love the decision as well to fight past that toxic screen, because you get too complicit, you get too safe, and suddenly G2's knocking on your door back sight. That is the perfect way to kick things off, right? It is going to come down to, I think, the little later stages more than anything to me personally, because we also saw them on Corrode win that initial pistol, but all in all, great indication that they aren't defeated after that Corrode loss.
They're still up, running and kicking. And the full stack over towards the B side will be immediately used by Giant X to plant that spike. They will make this one fairly quick, I think. Like, if you're not spotting anyone on the drone, if there's no aggression from G2 with that comp, you can be fairly sure that they are somewhere else. And it's an interesting buy coming off here from GX. Like, you have a lot of wiggle room for that next round. Basically having a full buy here with 2 Guardians, 2 Vandals, and a Vandal brought up by Jademar.
All right, we're saying right now for Jademar, is she going to pick up the Odin in the 3rd round? I know it's Breeze, but she did go for the Sheriff. What do you think?
It's Jademar, obviously.
It's Jademar, yeah. But that's Jademar. I think that means you're saying yes. But we got to see if they're going to hold on to these weapons. It looks like G2 trying to just die to spike, deny the orbs, which is smart. Jada has a Sheriff, though. She doesn't care about bringing this weapon into the next, so her death will at least lend an ult orb towards that from the shadows, but everyone else, safe passage.
Yeah, and G2 is just trying to execute themselves on the spike. No ult orbs have been given over to Giant X, but they are more than happy to save their buy up. And what's my biggest concern here for G2? You haven't seen any of the weapons. You don't know what's approaching you over from the other side. You don't know what Giant X have board up. So you have to buy full shields, first of all, everywhere, because there could be an outlaw. And Giant X basically has a full buy aside from that one sheriff that they are buying up. So there are some problems maybe for G2 here because like the buy is very good and G2 hasn't spotted anything of that.
And this is interesting. On Corrode, they kind of supplemented the bonus because it was so ramshackle. Here, it's like they bought up just enough to still have full buys into the next, right? Like you mentioned from that sheriff, and also an additional guardian picked up, right? Since it was 2 sheriffs last round for GX. But again, if the A side isn't failing, try again. Akita forced out, but Vanya isn't.
Vanya finds the first strike. That's a great arrow. Needs to be destroyed by Giant X. Numbers advantage over for G2, but the buy still looks very potent. Over from the Spanish roster. Mimi finds a kill, finds a second for her as well. Everything is falling apart for Giant X, and G2 was there on the retake. Not even giving them the chance to plant a spike. A flawless round, even though GX had a very good equipment going into this one.
Yeah, GX got, I think, a touch predictable, right? First 2 rounds you download. They're going A, they're fighting for this backside, so what do? Place a triangle of trust. The strongest support structure in engineering, and it delivers, right? Props up the team, gets the flawless, and there we go.
The power of friendship, the most powerful gravitation in this world.
What's stronger, a triangle or friendship? The world may never know.
the triangle of friendship, perfect foundations
There
for
we
every
go.
building.
Eh? Finally going B, right? The A spell's broken. See what happens off this drone.
Oh, and that's a good TP into for Anita, but she immediately gets taken out by Amy. Trade off Anva, but the damage is done. No more flashes in their hands. Giant X, they're trying to take a little bit more space over towards the backside, but that's hard without the Euro at the helm. There's a drone. Mimi spots some faces in the backside. Jade more down. Duel of the IGLs goes to Mimi once more. They're trying to flood it. Adora faster on the trigger. He trades. Akita makes 2. Brings this one on 2-1 versus 2. Jada all on her own. No utility to support herself. The next smoke is coming up in 14 seconds. Fake TP for Mimi. Brings this one to some more problems. Jada falls down in the end to a 1v2. Dimensional Drift ready for the next round.
Oh, and that fake TP was everything, right? It set the seeds of doubt. It prevented Jada from hard clearing Mimi while also having that worry in the back of their mind that Vanya is sticking. And I like that GX didn't slow down despite that initial entry from Anita being taken down, right? Adora supplements the space, takes the backside, but the trade's just always favoring G2 up until that 1v2 was won. So tied to a piece. We know that Giant X wasn't going to go down without a fight, and this is the round to answer that call. Showcase it's not going to be a blowout on the G2 breeze. And they're going back to B. I mean, they got in. They kept fair numbers. They got past the side anchor Amy. Just what do they change next?
And Mimi is just showing off right now. 6-1. Great start to that map, and the snowballing Euro, always a problem. Again, Anita ports into this one. Is alone. Adora not fast enough on the trade. Not fast enough on the double swing. Anita falling down. Some unlucky circumstances for her. The double swing into elbow, expected from Jademore. Is there for the fight. Breaks this one aggressive, but the body block over from Mimi brings that kill over to Anita. Numbers advantage secured by G2, and they're going to flood the side perfectly. Anva, quick on the trigger, brings this one back. Doable for Giant X. Finds the kill, finds the double. Mimi from the main as well. Third round, G2 is up on their home ground territory.
And again, it's strong starts, but loose endings for Giant X. In that round, we saw the change, right, that I wanted to see in that B post. They pushed up a little bit. They tried to shorten the leash. The G2 was on in that retake, not give them as much room. But G2 broke through. They frolicked, they got up close and personal, and still won those engagements. So we're still coordinated every step of the way, too. So now money reset. Anva the only one here. But with that Bulldog in hand. And Mimi, Eco Killer, of course. Outlaw. Primed ready to go at least towards A main. Quick mid-door reposition if desired. Let's see what GX has in the little Eco scrapbook chapter.
Mimi is going up. Very aggressive. First frag into her pockets. Dimensional Drift charging once again. But they're still trying to fight into this one. Anita is down 0-5. Not the best start to this map up until now. Adora just waiting for that swing. No utility to clear the angle.
Drone
Portal closed.
would be the investment to set up Adora. Disrespect Mimi, but respect shown in kind. G2 get out of the way.
Getting out of the way. Like, planting the spike should be fine for G2 Gozen, but they still want to deny this in some way. Trying to fight aggressively. Anva gets a trade kill for herself, but it's all the Giant X is getting down. Spike has been planted. Jada all on her own. Falls to the hands of Akita. A triple for her as well. The double duelist for G2 Gozen works out too perfectly, even on defense. Akita, free for herself, closes the gap to Mimi, who's even top fragging in this situation.
I mean, I was squinting at the mini-map trying to figure out where Akita found that first kill from. Like, it's from back orange, like through the pyramids to somebody front sight, and I think the toxic screen was up. We're starting to see why Breeze is Akita's favorite map. And, yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, and it continues that Anita is 0-5. This was supposed to be the map that she turned things around on, right? This is a strong role for her, but she's getting first blooded. She's the victim of these early engagements and the backstabs. It's a difficult position to be in.
I mean, it's okay if you're getting in and Adora immediately finds a great kill there, right? You have the side control and Adora this time quicker on the trigger, but Mimi has her back, has the support, fights down elbow, pushing Giant X back, entering their territory. G2 not afraid of anything right now.
Yep, that op we saw on Corrode while saving the weapon, the sample chapter of the full storybook to come, upgrading and showcasing you cannot go A, finding another duelist in her wake.
Amy has a perfect timing, but Anita, this time it doesn't work out. This time Anita doesn't fall. Doesn't falter. Mimi still tries to re-clear elbow. How quick are you in the op? Not quick enough for Anwar, it turns out. GX has great positioning, might be getting closer. If Eva doesn't have anything to say in this one, no arrow for her, so information denied. Vanya on the back step needs to be fast because the spike is ticking down already. No health diffusers inside. Eva needs to check all the corners, needs to clear this one out, but Anva tucked into this one. Remains unchecked. Vanya has a timing onto her. That frag will be easy, but oh my god, Vanya. Vanya making everyone on Giant X nervous for a second. Only one person surviving in the end.
And it's rounds like that show why Vanya was still positive and with a 90% cast in that Gentlemaids game, right? A little blip that was brought up earlier. It's because she can keep them kind of corralled, right? Look at the impact that it's having, right? Light shields. And Adora opting, instead of having a Vandal and Light Shield, to pop the Blade Storm in its stead. And that does, I think, energize me for the possibilities of overwhelming these off-site angles that G2 have been utilizing on A to be super, super oppressive, namely Vanya. It's the first time that we're also seeing Eva towards this side of the map. Curious to see how it'll stick.
Yeah, 3 players
Blocking vision.
trying to fight that fight proactively. Vanya is getting out of that angle. Adora flashed. They're looking for Vanya. They're searching for the Astro there. It's a great crossfire for G2 Gozen, but Vanya now left all on her own on pyramids. Double kill for Anita, getting back into that game. Slowly but surely the fragging turned up for her. And that's a great movement for Adora, great timing for her. Akita finds another kill, finds some consolation. Her and Amy might be able to take this one back. Again, another 2v4, Giant X! You can't let those advantages slip away from you! Akita knows where she is, knows where Anita is. She has the headshot, sprays her down, holds down most one, Praise gets a kill, Akita down, round number 4 secured with 4 kills by Anita.
And within 2 rounds from 0-5 to 6-5, the link up with Adora has been so impressive, right? When one duelist fell, the other was picking up the mantle. And I'm glad that we actually did get to see that final head-to-head between these two duelists, right? Akita versus, in that case, Anita, but we're seeing the full flexibility finally in this Akita kit, right? I love the double duelist as well maps more than anything paired alongside Mimi. It's what's made this so tricky. And Akita as well, back on Corrode, right? She was the one flanking, and now she's doing it here on Breeze too, punishing the lack of a chamber, lack of a sentinel that can hold down that flank space. And honestly, there's still one player who we did see step up with the Blade Storm in that particular round. And I am waiting to see Answer back consistently, right? And that is Adora.
And I think Akita has like a very, very interesting arc over the last year. The improvement alongside Mimi makes her shine even more, but Adora has been consistent, has been on the international stage as well, playing in the Last Chance Americas qualifier, only losing to MIBR, who were eventually one of the best teams in the world, as it turned out. It feels like this one is gonna be a nail biter as well, right, Zobi?
Yep, and again, it's going to be if GX can close or if they're going to be stuck in that we have to make a comeback run. Because that was the story towards the end of Split. That was the story since halftime on Corrode. I want to see them end up at the half, right? It was 6-6, 4-8. And this will be the time to do so. Not allow this G2 timeout turnaround. And G2, look at this, right? Instead of holding, giving up side and playing the retake from the get-go, they put really deep anchors into mid, and they have the double duelist stacked on the same site.
Yeah, but the double duelist stack gets rerouted. Amy has double there. Eva and her holding down the side. Akita finds the lurk. Catches out that one player from Giant X, and it seems like the adaptations G2 is making after the timeout are working. Anita all on her own needs to find something. An angle to start with. 1 versus 4. This one might be too much for her to handle. Everyone's looking at one angle. G2 now knows where she is, but it's a Euro, so you can't be too sure. Pink's going out. She's scared of window, and the peak is coming from there. Reposition towards main.
So
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left.
I mean, still 1 gate crash, still 2 flashes. It's the perfect kit to isolate these fights, but position known. This is hard.
Yeah, flashes onto the side. Mimi converts that last frag. G2 after the timeout, coming back into this one. The reposition of the double duelist combo onto one side allows for Eva and Amy to play on the same side, and both of those just locking down B.
And we've seen those two playing on the site previously, right? But Amy was getting bullied. There wasn't that trade factor because Eva was playing her life, was playing for, okay, the post plant, like corralling once the duelists got back over to her, right? We saw the shock darts invested for chip damage. We saw the late drone reclears, that sort of performance. So her putting her life on the line a little bit earlier truly gave Amy that breathing room to frag out, to play around pillar. And that's exactly what she needed, was that lack of punishment from this double dive that Giant X has. And speaking of double dive, we're diving through the toxic screen mid, we're diving in through mid doors, and Mimi is on the other side.
But he's ready. Dimensional Drift ready. Could be using it for some information gain. You know where Adora is. You know this one. She still finds Mimi. Hunter's Fury has been taken down as well. Banya. It's a trade kill. Hunter's Fury stopped. They're afraid that someone's gonna push this one even more aggressively. On the side, Adora needs to find something here, but no trades available. G2 is just running over them, running away after the timeout, and forcing everything out of Giant X.
And call-wise, that round was perfect from Giant X, right? They get the side through the mid-door fight. They get past that Hunter's Fury, but it was Vani's ability to stay alive. And then unfortunately, just the little late trade there from Eva, at least attempted. And again, it's Vania we're talking about, right? They all converged onto that point, and it just did not matter. She defied it. And that's what's allowed G2 that safety net of 6th, and Giant X again now battling to at best Taya, so they won't get that lead at the half. And with a pit down, feels like it's inevitable that they could get the lead.
Amy and Mimi fighting into this one. Aggressive goal. Mimi! What? No way she finds Adora in this one. Somewhere in between the green clouds, Mimi finds an angle, finds an opening to bring G2 up on top once again. Securing a half-time lead. Flashed out. Mimi's dead. Amber and Anita, there's a way into the pit. Not allowing G2 to exit this one once more. Spike will be going down on that A side.
Yeah, that Hunter's Fury, if you heard it, narrowly clipped the heels of Amy, down to 14 HP. Maybe was just the extra trophy on top, and now it's that standard protocol for Giant X, which is to take backside space, get in the faces of G2, and Vani's been the only one that's really able to defy it to this degree.
That's just a trade at this point. Numbers advantage and the pit still there. For Giant X, they have a lot to play around. Jade Moore, up forward position. Arrow is going in, destroyed. They have zero clue, they have zero information. Jade Moore a trade, but Vanya still in that pit. Jada finds that last one, 6 and 5. G2 Gozen. You're not running away with this one. Even if your IGL finds an impossible entry kill within the green clouds. That's great.
Wow. Look at that, the timing. The double swing from Anita and from Enva. Very, very well done in how they cleared that pit out. And now, I mean, we're still sitting on tipping ultimates for the side of G2, particularly geared around more retake with the dimensional drift and that cosmic divide. So I'm surprised to see Vanya this close and personal for the first time on this A-side anchor. She is usually super towards orange, and now she's out in the open.
Yeah, Kita has been spotted. Ultimate denied. Vanya pushed away, pushed out of those angles. It's a 5v5 retake. G2 wants to play this together. A difference between 6 and 7 rounds makes a lot up here. Akita, headshot.
Spike planted. I'm out of here.
Finds Anita, finds the other duelist. Adora pushed over by Akita as well. A double for the young gun of G2 Gozen. Ever swings around with her. 2 versus 5. Needs to be converted by Giant X. Immediately, the ult has been thrown down by Vanya, but Enva makes this even more possible. Keeps this round alive. Ever 1 HP, closes it 7 to 5. G2 secures a halftime lead by a threat.
The adrenaline, the fact that elimination is hanging on the line for Giant X finally kicked in halfway in, and they were able to at least make it a respectable half, still trailing by 2. But this pistol would be everything. They have yet to win both pistols on a map, and this would be the time to kick off the reverse sweep in the best of 5 lower finals. But we've seen it, the players for G2 looking informed, looking primed, disrespecting Giant X.
Has G2 ever been reverse swept?
I don't know. They already broke their little 1-3 curse for the lower finals that they've been stuck with like last year. Let's see what they can do now.
Getting reverse swept would be something new, at least. And double doors push from them. But Giant X is rerouting this one, being right behind them. What? They're playing Ring Around the Rosies at this point. They're gonna hear the door. G2 knows what's up. But do they expect 3 players coming through double door at this rate by Giant X? Spike has been planted for the backside. Anita has an up forward position. Finds that first frag. Akita trades in the great scheme of things. Vanya on the pyramid. Also one for her. Brings G2 up front. Anita at least able to find another constellation kill for her. Vanya is fighting. Vanya is working her way into this one. A right click for the triple. The 1 versus 3 for Anita. It needs to be magnificent for her. Tucks away into the corner, but Amy falls on the trigger. 8 and 5, G2. This might be the dagger.
And the pistol punch. The Giant X have gotten hit with round after round. Map after map comes through yet again. And I like the creativity. I like the immediate round the world play through revolving door, but The answer was there for G2. Take the deep backside space, plant for that instead, and they played it to perfection. I thought for a second that Anita was going to hold her own, find a multi-kill of her own that flipped around, kept a lid on it, but G2, keep it out. Keep it up. Keep the lead, and this is Breeze again. Can't really force up a practical weapon, and speaking of forcing up, G2, here, rifle in Akita's hands.
Mimi has been spotted, but it's just a decoy. And Giant X knows this immediately. Decisive rotation over to the other side. Akita, what's Anita? Finds that frag. Instant headshot. On to the opposing Yoru. Giant X, 4 players on the retake, but just classics in hand. This is a rough portion of the map, a rough situation for yourself. And Akita makes swift work of that together with Anya. In the end, it's a quad kill for G2's youngest piece. 9 and 5. G2 just running away with it. And I mean, Giant X, you need to wake up now or never.
Absolutely, and I mean, obviously G2 are wide awake, and it's that age-old question of like, if every team in the world was at their full strength playing 100%, which team would win? Just on paper, and G2 is one of those that is the highest of highs when you look at each and every individual in the server. And we're starting to reach that apex here on one of their best maps, undeniably. And Giant X still only have 1 timeout left, so this round, huge. Cannot lose to a bonus conversion.
The smoke is going down, and Vanya all of a sudden in a great position. Anita 0% ready for it. Never expected that G2 is gonna pull off such a move, but Anita goes onto the side. Adora finds a double there on the elevated position, but that's not enough to stop the onslaught that G2 is trying to execute on that A side. 19 frags by Akita. She's just running all over Giant X players, and now it's a 3 versus 2. You might just save here.
Can't. You mentioned how devastating it would be to lose to a bonus, to let G2 get up to double digits, so they're going for this.
But they're all having Vandals. G2 has perfect weapons. They basically are on a full buy right now. No more bonuses. No flashes for GX. The fight is run aggressively. Amy has one. Ever on the backstep. Jademore. The IGL needs to have a step up here, but plays against the utility of Vanya, tucked into a corner. The stick not coming through. Jademore, aggressive fight, and Vanya clutches it. Double digits. Double all rounds of Giant X. G2 Gozen 1 step closer to the grand finals.
It's just peculiar, right? Yeah, the Yoder has a way out, has that gate crash, but you know it's a bonus. And fighting through like that just completely knocks the wind out of Giant X and takes what's been a really powerful player in those late rounds out of commission in Anita. So Giant X, interestingly enough, this is the first time out taken, right? Finally not being the one beaten to losing both. We'll have that second one in the bank up towards that map point. And this is the cyclic nature that we've been in every single map. It's they take this time out, they fail to keep G2 off a match point. And on map 1, we saw them get that late resurgence, get to OT and fall. We couldn't see them finish that style of comeback in the previous map. So it's like, okay, what card are we gonna draw this time off the stack, Akamas?
That's the big question. What are you taking out of your playbook, right? And Giant X, in my opinion, you need to have something a little bit more telegraphed on your defensive setups. It was their big strength against Kamakop, in my opinion. Changing of defensive setups, switching around what you were trying to do there. And overall, I'm not really sure if you're up to the task against G2 Gozen. Mimi's mid-rounding seems so insane right now.
Okay. And it's... At this point, doesn't even feel like mid-rounding aside from that pistol, right? It's like the initial plan is working. G2. See, this is the initial plans, right? I do not know. It does not connect onto Adora. It's a Bucky for Breeze, but they're going to avoid it altogether. An aggressive B main fight. The lean is logical, but they're leaning into a stack. Look at this. 3 players around the world scaling up to mid-door.
Yeah, but the stun is perfect. Amber. Akita on the flick. A double for her. Make it 3. Overdrive ready. Round 11. Coming on the horizons for G2. On the back of 22 frags in 15 rounds for Akita. That Neon, just insane. Ever on the drone. Sees nothing. But they should know that something is up there in the middle. Jake is up with that smoke that has been thrown. Adora doesn't get anything. A quad for Akita. Vanya has the last 11 and 5. G2, 2 rounds away from closing this one out.
Wow. 4 rounds in a row. Starting to sweep Giant under the rug, but I saw a little glimpse before the replays of an Odin operator combination coming online. It's that kind of all-in buy that has kickstarted the system. Jade Maw selling the Odin, just fine. Adora, I like the op purchase. 2 off, right? From the blades, so you keep the gun, it'll be there next, or maybe even into this round, but
Poison orb emitting.
caution.
You want to find it?
And Adora whiffs on the first track. That kill would be so impactful. Anita makes 1. But immediate trade coming up from Vanya. Up, overrun by Akita. Jada has the trade, but the damage is down. Both duelists out of the game for both teams. Anva, what can you do? What can you throw into the execute of G2 Gozen? All 3 players there. They're looking for you. They're looking for something. Spike has been dropped. Anva makes short work out of this one. Eva has been spotted, no utility in hand. Trying to get out of there, trying to find any angles to bring this one back. A kill for Amy, 1 versus 2. In the end for Eva, and she falls to Jade Maw. It has been a round where Giant X in the end prevails because Eva is the best player on that side in that moment.
Cool. Performs as the anchor, and the teammates are there to back her up. Beautifully timed rotation. We mentioned again that Giant X surge is dangerous. It's kept G2 off a match point for now. Can it be sustained? First point on the board for this half. 1 off Blades, 1 off Hunter's Fury, Dimensional Drift. Like, they are charging up their ults, right? To counter that ult cycle, that overlap G2 is gonna have, but Anita, you were in this position before.
There. I'm out of here.
Pushes up towards top mid. Finds Jade Maw. Yep. We've seen there, Amy has 1. Immediate trade, right trick for Akita will be impactful. Spots the Euro clone, knows that someone's there, knows that the Euro might be up behind it. Vanya tucked into the corner. Enver not respecting this one. All of a sudden, G2, 2 players up. Oh, Akita, the silent drop. Might be deadly. Might spot Anita from behind Jada. Have you got it? Have you got the momentum and the timing? Mimi spotted. 1 kill for her. Ports out, and G2 needs to reassess the situation. But Akita already on the backstep, right behind Anita. That kill confirmed as well. B side open, and Jada has some work for her.
Yeah. Switch from the Asher to the Omen. Has struggled to find her footing on this map. This clutch would be everything, but Akita not only backstabbed Anita, but is getting ready to show the same exact treatment to Jada. That will put G2 Gozen on map. A serious point right now for the potential 3-0 sweep over Giant X to rewrite history and get that rematch in the grand finals versus Gentlemates.
1 enemy.
I will ask you a question that I asked you yesterday at a similar point. Do you believe in miracles, Zobi?
With GX on the other side, yes, but I am a logical individual, and I need to see this round go their way since it's a half buy, and I need to see them do so without investing every single one of these ultimates, because they've got to ration them. They're gonna be far in between. She's gonna have a grand finale-esque approach with only 1 round needed. And that's a good start so far. Pit trying to force them towards this aggro line that the double duelist from GX has.
A lot of map control. That's so much map control for Giant X right now. And they're gonna hear the door. And afterwards trying to commit onto that mid play. Hunter's Fury has been taking a double tag by Jade Maw thus far. Spots the second player. But nobody dies. Adora in the backstep. The timing is perfect. Finds Vanya from behind. A knife in the back. stops the onslaught for G2 Gozen, but they know that the B side might be open. They spotted a Dora there. They know the Viper's pit has been committed anyways. Mimi stays alone onto A. Everybody else is taking the B side. A decisive call for G2 makes this possible. Mimi has a duel. Finds Straightmore. Again, battle of the IGLs goes Mimi's way so often. Kita, another timing. It's all about timings right now for G2 Gozen, and it seems like GX disconnected, hesitant.
Mimi has the longest flank to secure possibly the map, Akamusk.
Oh, the close range fight goes south for Akita, but Eva finds Enver. Something to do for it. Both GX players in that pit. Tucked into this one. Amy in the double. Makes it a 3, and oh, G2 has another matchup against Gentlemates tomorrow. Destroys the dreams of Giant X. Destroys